So I call this parabolic expositional preaching. That's fancy words for saying there's an arc and a straight line, okay? So I also call it the arc and the through line. And what this means is that there's going to be a part of the message that is the through line. This is the text. This is your core text that you're sticking to for the consistency and the coherency, and that you're preaching that text. This arc has to do with the grand story of the scripture and the journey that you go on. You could go ahead and go to the next slide. And in between those two are what you could call hyperlinks, links that weave the story of the immediate context and the passage that you are hitting on over and over and over again with the grand story of Scripture, and pulling those together to weave a story, to bring people along on a journey like Pastor Nick was saying, to bring people on this journey. You're somewhere and you're going somewhere else. You're going into a deeper intimacy with Jesus. You could do the next slide. So as we talk about this, I'll start here with the through line. Again, this is the preaching text. This is whatever that text is that you have been steeping in and worshiping through and exegeting all week long. So this creates that consistency within a sermon. You're not all over the place. It's not buckshot, right? I mean, you're talking about this verse all the way through. This is an expositional preaching of this text. It's the key point, and it's on repetition. It's on repeat throughout the sermon over and over again. It's like a chorus to a song. It might come up with a slight variation, but there's a chorus that keeps a consistency throughout the sermon. And this is also the immediate and the near context. So whatever the passage is, you're framing that within its near context, in the passage and in the book. The arc here represents this move from tension and disintegration in someone's life in the world to a redemptive integration with Jesus through the text. It moves from the existential ache to the gospel, but it's also the meta context, the history of redemption. I mean, from Genesis to Revelation, whatever this text is, interplays with the rest of the scripture, right? It always interplays somehow. It's part of a grand story. These hyperlinks are story filaments linking the arc and the through line in various ways without overwhelming the people and just scattershotting, a bunch of text. It's finding ways to link this current text that you're doing a deep dive in with a lot of repetition so it gets into people. You're finding these hyperlinks to link it back to, and this is why in Exodus God said, and this is why in Deuteronomy we get this experience, and this is why in the book of Judges. And so you're weaving this together. And what this does is this functions as a literary and divine intentionality apologetic. In other words, people start to get a sense like, oh my gosh, like all of this is divinely interwoven and designed to lead me to see Jesus. Like all of this. Its oddest details, its weirdest quirks, its biggest stories, most dramatic scenes, like they all come together in this way to lead to Jesus. So this is just a framework, but the point is, the hope is that this leads us to a sermon that's unified. It sticks to the text to get the true texture of the text. It preaches that text at hand, yet lets that text live in relationship to the story of redemption while taking the listener on a journey from thirst to water. Speaking of which, dry throat. From thirst to water, from existential ache to gospel healing, cruciform healing because of the work of Jesus.